All right, let's talk about the D. Jamal Adams, is he going to go in this game? What's his status, Dave?
Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you, man. I'm kind of done with Jamal Adams, right?
Really?
I mean, the Seahawks give up first-round draft picks for the guy. He's always hurt. He's never available. And when he is available, there's nobody in the NFL, Larry, that's better at cleaning up somebody else's tackle than Jamal Adams. He's always there second when it comes to making a play. The Seahawks, in his first year, blitzed him like 100 times, and he had double-digit sacks because he got blitzed 100 times. You blitz anybody 100 times from the safety spot, and that guy's going to get home at least 9 or 10% of the time. He had a play against Sam Howell in the Commander game 2 weeks ago where he blitzed off the edge, had a clear shot at Sam Howell, whiffed on him, and they scored a touchdown down the left side, okay? So Jamal Adams likes to talk a lot. He likes to flex a lot. He'll make a play for a conversion on third down and let the world know he's made a tackle when, oh, by the way, the opponent just got a first down. So there's a lot about Jamal Adams that I don't like. The trade has been a disaster for the Seahawks. They don't need him here in Seattle. They're fine without him, and they should have kept those 2 first-round draft picks, and I was wrong. I thought the day they made the deal was a good deal. I was wrong, and I rue the day they made that trade. I hate it.
You know, they should have listened to Greg Cosell, man. Cosell was telling us for years, he's like, this guy's got a big rep, and he just doesn't fit very many schemes, and there's all kinds of weaknesses in his game. What do you think of the new trade acquisitions? You guys reacquired Frank Clark, who you guys originally drafted, and then of course the former SC Trojan Leonard Williams, who's a really solid interior player. How have those guys fit in thus far?
Yeah, Frank Clark hasn't done much, to be honest with you, man. There's a reason why he was available, right? There's a reason why guys like that are on the open market looking for a team. So he hasn't done a lot so far, but he has had, I think, a little bit of a positive impact on Jaron Reed, the defensive tackle. Jaron Reed's best numbers came when Frank Clark was in Seattle, and then when Frank Clark took off to Kansas City or got traded, Jaron Reed's production kind of dropped. Leonard Williams has been fine in the first couple of games. I mean, obviously, they haven't won, a lot with him so far, but he's only been here for a few weeks, and I think you're seeing why they went after a guy like Leonard Williams. The big addition or the big impact player has been Boye Mafe, outside linebacker / defensive end. He's been on a freaking tear for the last month and a half, man. Every single week, this guy is getting after the quarterback. So I don't care if it's Frank Clark. I don't care if it's Leonard Williams or Boye Mafe. They need someone to get after the quarterback, and that guy has been Boye. And don't forget, Uchenna Nwosu, who had a great year a year ago, got signed to a big contract over the offseason. He's out for the year. So they really need Boye Mafe to keep doing what he's doing.
Wow. Yeah, Wosu's a hell of a player. Mafe just comes firing. I loved him at Minnesota, man. What a great athlete he is. He's ridiculous off the edge. How about the timeless one, Bobby Wagner? I mean, 10 more tackles last week against the Rams. How's Bobby Wagner looking at this point in his career?
He looks outstanding. I mean, if you told somebody that Bobby Wagner is 30 years old, there's no way you would have bought that, right? I mean, look, I'm not a gigantic fan of PFF. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Larry, but
me either.
They kind of give you a general guideline, I guess, of how guys are playing, and they had him as the number 1 linebacker in the NFL last year. So was he the best? Probably not. Was he top 10? Probably. Was he top 20? Yeah. So adding a guy like that to complement Jordan Brooks, who also his best years came when Bobby Wagner was on the field with him, he's had a real positive impact on him. So the defense overall has been pretty good, right? I mean, the secondary has been banged up. Devin Witherspoon, you're going to love watching this guy play, man. Animal. He's a small guy, but he packs a serious punch, man. Him and Tariq Woolen at the cornerback spot, they've really kind of locked down those positions. It's probably the best secondary they've had since the LOB. They'll never be the LOB, obviously, because the LOB might be the best position group in the history of the NFL, but they're as good as they've been since then. Quandre Diggs at safety. Julian Love's been a great signing for them as well from the Giants. Even without Jamal Adams, I think their secondary's been pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about Witherspoon for a second, man. What a pick. What a pick. I mean, that guy, I loved him at Illinois. He looked incredible in the draft process. Schneider had the conviction to take him high. A lot of people thought he went too high. But, man, Witherspoon, he's physical, he's fast, he's instinctive. I mean, he's one of the best young corners to enter the league when you look at all around. Really, maybe in recent memory, I can't think of anybody who's hit the ground running like this kid.
Well, Seahawks fans wanted Jalen Carter at number 5.
Right.
Because they had a clear need at defensive tackle, and Jalen Carter was the best defensive tackle in the draft by far. Seahawks brought him into Seattle for a pre-draft visit, and he totally 1,000% rubbed them the wrong way. It just was not a fit for whatever reason, whether he was cocky, egotistical, didn't want to play here. Maybe that was part of it, right? I happen to think that some guys go through the draft process and they go on visits, and if it's a team they don't want to play for, they'll act like it, right? And I think Jalen Carter kind of did that when he came to Seattle. Philadelphia is a great spot for him when he's playing well. You see him try and pick off the spike last night in the game with Patrick Mahomes. That's amazing. But a lot of fans wanted Jalen Carter, and the Seahawks took Devin Witherspoon, and the first reaction most Seahawks fans had is, who the hell's this guy, right? Like, a lot of people hadn't heard of him. Like, who the hell watches Illinois football in Seattle? Right. Crying out loud. So it was a surprise. His weight is a little bit of a concern. As long as he's healthy, he plays with a lot of reckless abandon. But at 185, there's a lot of concern this guy's going to get banged up, man, at some point in time. And that is a real factor, I think, for a lot of Seahawks fans. But as long as the guy's been healthy, he's been amazing. He blitzes. He goes after running backs. He goes after wide receivers. He forces fumbles. He picks off passes. He's great in coverage. He does not look like a rookie cornerback to me at all.
No, the guy sacks the quarterback. He blows up running backs. And the guy's really, really good. And you're right. He maybe he out hits his body at some point. How about Kobe Bryant? Is Kobe Bryant? I saw they opened the practice window for Kobe Bryant. Does he come back on Thursday?
Yeah, we're not sure yet. We got to find out on that, but they need him back because they are a little thin at corner. They got the two guys that are great when they play, but they're a little thin at corner. I just think for the Seahawks, man, everybody should be healthy for the most part, except for Kenny Walker. Dave Lucas, I don't think he's going to play on Thursday with a short week, but Jason Peters has been fine at right tackle. So outside of those guys, I think the Hawks should be okay.
What are you doing game day, Dave? Do you do pregame or any kind of? Will you be there in the stadium on game day and Thanksgiving?
I'm going to skip the game Thursday. My wife would divorce me if I missed Thanksgiving.
Okay, it's good honesty. That's good honesty.
I've already been divorced once. I don't want to be divorced twice. So I actually gave my tickets away to somebody who could use them on Thursday. I'm going to stay home, watch the game on TV with the family.
Did you give them to a friend or did you turn it into an on-air bit?
No, I gave them to a buddy of mine who hasn't been to a game in a long time. So he's going to bring his son to the game.
One question from the chat here. J49 says, hi, Larry. Fire says, is this the guy that Radnich told to shove his trophy up his nose?
That's right. I told me to shove it up my ass, by the way. And
yeah.
What's Gary doing? Is he still in prison? What's Gary up to?
Gary's retired, man. He's on the beach. He's enjoying his family. He's counting his millions. He's living life in the city and taking care of his kids and just going for walks with his wife and being a sports fan. I'll give Gary credit, man. He always said when we were working together, when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not going to be hanging out in the press box and giving opinions and podcasting and this and that. He's like, when I'm done, I'm done. And he's like, he's gone. I mean, I talked to him this summer on the phone. I owe him a phone call, but man, he's not doing nothing media wise.
Well, good for him. I'm glad that he got out before he started drooling all over himself, man. So good for Gary.